Hello there. Have you ever put yourself in between two grown men that are about to fight? I don't think that's a good idea, but that's what I did tonight. But let's start from the beginning. So, I got to work. I think this was my third day in a row, and I wasn't going to go tonight. And I had an appointment tomorrow, today, whatever. Now it's today, but I had a hair appointment, and I was like, okay, either I'm not going to go to work and I'm going to miss out on money, or I'm going to go to work and then I'm going to be tired as shit at my hair appointment, and then I might not even be able to go to work tonight, Thursday, or there was a whole bunch of scenarios. Long story short, I said, you know what? I need to go to work because it's a busy week, and I will just not go get my hair done tomorrow. And I rescheduled for next week at 9 a.m., which is going to be crazy, but I had to do what I had to do. So tonight when I got to work, I was ready to go because it's a busy week. Nothing but quality up in there. And I don't know if anybody knows this, but before COVID, it was nothing but great quality all the time. It was just great. After COVID, things changed. So when it's good, you got to get it while it's hot. So it was good the beginning of January, and it's been amazing this week, and it's going to keep being amazing this week. So I'm excited. So when I get to work, I get on the floor, and welcome to 22 years on the floor. And I get on the floor and I see these guys. No, I'm lying. I sit down and I'm waiting to be called up. And I get called up and I sit down with the guys. They're from Australia. And it's early. This is like 7:30-ish, so it's early. So I have a little bit more time to just, hope for the best with them. And I was sitting with them, and we ended up, me and all of them, it was like 4 of them, and some other girls went to a room to talk about maybe doing some time. And they were not for it. So we all came back out, and I'm basically being patient and being optimistic that something might happen. So I stay with the guy. And when I'm with the guy, I end up getting some money from him, actually. And he didn't even want me to dance for him or anything. So that was cool. I was just hanging out with him. But it was one of those things where it's like he didn't give me a certain amount at one time. He was like giving me this much, and then I would have to like ask for more. And it was a little frustrating, but I'm very patient and I know how it goes. I've been doing this a long time. So I end up getting XYZ from him. And then his friend liked me, so I was about to get money from him, but then the card wasn't working, and so I tried to activate the card for him, but then he said no, he doesn't want to do it. So I think it was like maybe an hour-ish that I was with them, and an hour and a half maybe, and I was really sad. I'm talking about sad. When I thought I was going to make more money and it didn't work out, I was sad. I'm very sensitive, and I spent so much time with you guys, and now you said that you were going to do it, and now your card doesn't work, and I'm trying to activate it, and now you're saying you don't want to do it because your wife might see it, but then you say that the card is a card that you just put money on, so what do you mean your wife's going to see it? Like, now I think you're bullshitting, but I'm not going to argue with nobody. I did my best, tried my best. He didn't want to do it. It's over. But I definitely am the person that keeps going, and they all loved me for that. They were like, you are persistent. Everybody wants to hire me. People in sales that own companies, they're like, this one guy who was like, you want to come work for me in Canada, sell metal or something? I think he said he was like $250,000 a year. I'm like, I'll have to move to Canada. He's like, yeah. I'm like, I can't do that. But I'm that good. Persistence. I don't give up. I am ruthless. Okay. And you got to be, but you have to know how to do it. You have to still be nice at the same time. You know what I mean? So I end up leaving them, and I'm sad. Oh, and tonight I tried something new. I don't want to keep drinking every night. I feel so much better right now. Like, I didn't drink shots like I normally do. And today I ordered a vodka soda with lots of limes, and I squeezed a whole bunch of limes in there for the flavor. And I only had like 2 sips just to kind of like cut the edge, or however you say it, to get me like not normal, but a little bit of liquor in me, just a little bit, but not to where I feel like shit right now, or tomorrow when I wake up, or later today when I wake up, feel like shit. You know what I mean? So I'm glad I do that. That's my new thing. And then with champagne, I'm not going to get the sweet one, which is rosé. I'm going to get Brut, and I'm not going to drink it like that. My friend, shout out to you. You know who you are. She told me about my liver and how liquor is not good for you. And I never thought about my liver. Don't ask me why. I just didn't. Whatever. Now I am, and I'm almost 40 years old, so it's time to start thinking about that. So ain't no more shots at work. So thank you so much for that, my friend. Booski. So I'm sad. I'm really sad, okay? And so I go to the bathroom, and I'm just like really sad. And then I leave the bathroom, and I go to this table with this guy. And he is the sweetest man. One thing that guys love about me is that I am very genuine, and I am a human, and I talk to them like normal, but still like, doing what I do. But they sense all this, and they love that. So he senses that I'm super genuine, and he ends up giving me money. And I was so happy because I told him I was like, I was sad. And he said, I could tell. And I was like, yeah, well, now you're changing my frown. How you say it? Frown upside down, whatever. Okay. And he gave me money. And then he gave me more money. And we were just sitting there. And I was like, thank you. Like, I was so thankful to him. And I did try to get him to go to the room and do all that stuff, but he didn't want to. But then he did. But then his friend started feeling sick. So I told his friend, why are you feeling sick? He's like, the pizza I ate. I'm like, okay, well, you need some Tums. So I told him, let me go get you some Tums. And he's like, no, I have some stuff in the hotel. I'm like, but your friend wants to go with me, but he doesn't want to leave you. And he's like, I don't care if he leaves. It's okay. I don't care if he leaves me. But the guy I was with, he was like, he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to leave his friend, whatever. Actually, my guy was the boss of the other guy. So my guy was like, I'm his boss. He's going to say he doesn't care if I leave, but I know he doesn't feel good, and it is what it is. So me and him ended up not going, but he gave me some money, and we just sat there, and it was cool. I felt much better than I did before that. So that's good. Then I leave him, and honestly, it's really hard to remember because it's so busy in there. So let me just get to the fighting part, because that was crazy. So I go up to a table, and I see this guy, and he's like this. And I go up to him. I'm like, this might be good because he's a little intoxicated, but let's see how intoxicated he is. And one of the girls that's sitting there with the other guy looks at me. She's like, she's shaking her head, telling me don't deal with him. I looked at her like that, and I am not going to just leave the guy because you're telling me not to go to him. I'm going to try to talk to him. I am my own person. Thank you. So I go up to him, and I say what I say, like, hey. And I'm like, are you okay? I'm like, do you want some water? And he's like, no, what do you want? And I'm like, I think I just went right to it. Do you want to get entertainment? Whatever I said. Which, by the way, tip, you never want to ask a question in sales. You never want to ask a question that you can get a yes or no answer. So you don't want to say, do you want to dance? Because they'll say no. So my thing is, what I say is, are you here to be entertained if you find the right entertainer? That's one of my lines. So anyways, so I get him to say, yeah, let's go. Like within a minute. So we go to the ATM, and I'm helping him, do what he needs to do to get the money out. And I tell him a certain amount. I started at this. Remember, I don't talk about how much. I started at a low amount when we were at the booth. And then when we got to the ATM, I said a higher amount. And he said, okay. He was just doing it. So I told him how much to put in. He puts it in. The money comes out. He's like, grab it. So I grab it. Mind you, he's intoxicated. He's drunk. But I didn't know how drunk and how belligerent and how messed up he was. I think he did other things besides liquor. because what happened later was crazy. So we leave the ATM and I say, do you want to go to the booth that we were at with your friend, or do you want to go to a room? He says a room. So we go to the room and I'm telling him about the champagne and everything, and he's cool. He takes his credit card out and everything's great. And then all of a sudden something happens. He starts saying like, wait, what do you mean? Starts cussing, saying, what? Fuck this. No, you're telling me that I have to give you this for this? Mind you, he already gave me money, but I think he forgot. So I'm not going to be like, well, you already gave me money. I'm like trying to figure out what's going on with this dude, right? And I'm like, I hope that he's not going to be like, give me my money back. And he didn't say that. He just kept saying like, no, we're not doing this. Fuck this. No, I'm not spending this much. You're telling me I have to spend this much to be with you for this much for you to sit on my lap for this long? I'm like, I'm not going to sit on your lap. I'm going to entertain you. He's like, no, no, no. I'm like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Mind you, inside, I'm freaking out thinking he's going to ask for the money back. So we leave the VIP room and I'm like, what do you want to do? We go back to the booth? So we go back to the booth. This is when all hell broke loose. Are you ready for this? I wasn't. We go back to the booth. The original booth that he had, which, mind you, supposedly he paid for the bottles and all that. The table that he was at, somebody else was there. So we get to the booth and I'm like, what's going on? And I see his friend over there at the other booth. So I'm like, oh, he's over here. My guy says, what do you mean? Fuck this. This is my table. I paid for this. This is my table. Mind you, it's like a whole new group there. A whole bunch of guys. And so there's a booth here, a booth here, a booth here, a booth here. The booth right here and the booth right here was filled up with a whole bunch of people because it was like a big group of like 20. So what had happened was, this is what I thought at first. What I thought was that his friend, because his friend told me, his friend wanted to move from the booth that they were at to this booth because this area was going to be filled up. And because it was too, a big group, they needed more room. Right? But later on, I found out that the friend didn't say he wanted to leave. One of the waitresses said, do you mind leaving this booth and going over there because we have a big group that needs this table? And the friend was like, yeah, he doesn't mind. So when we get back and my guy sees that his booth is not his anymore, he freaks the fuck out. He starts cussing. He starts saying, no, fuck this. This is my table. What the fuck? And I'm talking about like, I really think he was on some other stuff besides liquor because he was on one. I can't even explain it to you guys, but it's just cussing, yelling. No, I don't give a fuck. So I say, let's go. Your friend is over there. So we go over to his friend. And he's cussing at his friend, which, by the way, they've only known each other for like, I think it was a couple of days or something. So I asked the guy, I'm like, you don't know him like that? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, well, he's beyond drunk. He's getting aggressive. He's cussing and all this stuff. And I'm telling my guy, I'm like, hey, I'm like, do you have kids? Like, calm down. Like, you don't want to be like this. You can go to jail. He says, you're talking about my kids? He's like, I don't give a fuck. I've been in jail. I don't care. I was like, they're going to kick you out. He was like, you think they're going to kick me out? Yeah, watch this. I'm like, oh God. In my head, I'm like, oh Lord. Now, mind you, the only reason why I stayed with him this whole time is because he gave me money. And I'm trying to make sure that I either spend time with him so he can't go and say I didn't spend any time with him, or I'm trying to like hold on and see what happens because he gave me money and we didn't do any time. So I'm nervous about this money being an issue. I'm nervous about him saying he wants his money back. I'm nervous about him going to management, telling management that he gave me money, we didn't do anything. But so I'm like staying with him, right? At the same time, I'm trying to calm him down. That's just my character. So I'm trying to calm him down and he's looking at his friend and he's telling his friend like, why did you let him take the table? Da, da, da. And the friend's like, not even tripping like that because he doesn't know him like this. So the friend is like, we just moved tables because I wanted to be away from all those people. It was like a whole bunch of people. And my guy's like, I don't give a fuck. What the fuck? What the fuck? And he storms off and goes to the booth. He goes to the booth and he starts cussing the people out at the booth. Telling the people at the booth, like, this is my booth, this is my stuff. And mind you, these are men that are drinking too. So let me rewind real quick. So when we were at the booth and the guy was first realizing that, his booth was gone and that they were here, my friend is calling me. She's at the booth over there and she's calling me to go over there, but I'm nervous to leave him because I don't know. Same thing. I'm trying to make sure that I'm good with the money. But I tell the guy, I'm like, I'll be right back. Because at this point, I'm scared he might slap me or sock me because whenever I brought up his kids, he looked at me with these eyes like, you're bringing up my kids? I'm like, I'm bringing up your kids because I'm trying to help you not get kicked out, not go to jail. You got kids you got to think about. That shit didn't work. So my friend's calling me over and I go over to my friend. And when I go over to my friend, I'm about to talk to she's with a guy and then I'm about to talk to the guy that wants me, whatever. And so I'm about to, do what I do with them. And then my old guy comes and he storms to the front of the booth. And this is when he starts cussing them out and stuff. So my new guy stands up and I stand in front of him and the other guy. And I'm like, you guys stop. And I'm like, and I told the new guy, I'm like, you got kids? I'm like, yeah, sit down. So he sits down. And then I see that another guy comes up and my old guy is starting to talk shit to this new guy. And I'm starting to see even more tension and it's getting bad. So I look at the DJ and I'm like, DJ, can you need to call. Well, first I asked my friend, I'm like, girl, do you think I should call management? I don't know what to do. This is getting hot. Should I call the managers? What should we do? And I made the decision to tell the DJ, hey, you need to get somebody over here now. So the DJ calls the management runs over and management is trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm trying to tell them what's going on. And I tell one of the managers what's going on just to give him, keep him informed of what's happening right now. And it's big commotion. It's 5 guys all around each other, management everywhere trying to calm this guy down. And he's like, no, this is my table, my table. And one of the managers is like, well, your table's over there, buddy. You go, come on, buddy. Talking to him like a kid because he's drunk off his ass. And they're trying to make sure everybody's happy. Mind you, he also paid for a bottle. So it's not like he's a regular guy that they're just going to kick out. He's somebody that spent money. So they got to, to me, he's a ticking time bomb. Kick him out because you don't know what he's going to do later on if you keep him here. But, they didn't do that. They just calmed him down and everything was good. He got calm. He got calm to an extent where he didn't get kicked out, right? So me and the new guy and my friend and the guy, we're about to go do some time. And we go do some time and we're in the line. And we're in the line and I'm looking for the guy because I'm trying to make sure he's not talking to management or, he's not, I'm just keeping an eye on him just to make sure that I don't need to be like, hey, management, look, he's fucking up again. And I see him go to the booth again and he just stares at the guys. So I asked one of the hosts, I'm like, hey, that guy's a ticking time bomb, and I'm like, keep an eye on him. And he's like, okay. So that was crazy. I was in between 2 grown-ass men about to fight, and that's not something smart you're supposed to do. But in the moment, I was so hot and shaking and so nervous. I just didn't want nothing to go down. I was still worried about my money that I made if he was going to remember, which, by the way, he didn't remember. It's like he never even went to the ATM machine. It was crazy. That's what drugs will do to you, though, I guess. So me and the new guy and my friend and her guy go to a room. We do some time together and we have a great time just laughing and dancing and ha ha he he entertaining. And then after that, we end up trying to do more time with them, but they didn't want to. But then my friend's guy wanted to do more time with her, so she left, but I knew he wanted to do more time with her. So I went back to him and I asked him, do you want more time with her? And he's like, well, where is she? I'm like, well, if you want her, I'll go get her. And he was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. So I text her, I told her to come. She comes, they go do some time. Then this is when I'm walking around and it's busy, but I'm like, this is when I'm just walking around to everybody are you ready? They're like, ready for what? Ready to go with me. And I did it to 5 guys and they all said no. And then I did it to this guy and I got him. He was about to go to the ATM and I was like, what are you doing? He was getting money. I'm like, well, you don't have to do that. You could pay with card. I'm like, you can swipe it right here. Haha, no pin pad. And I end up taking him to the back just like that. and we did time together. I got paid very well, and it was a really good night. What's today? Wednesday? Monday was great. Tuesday was so-so. Tonight was great. It's going good. But in regards to tonight, the biggest thing that happened was seeing men with liquor and men, testosterone, and having to talk to them like kids, telling them to sit down and. And yeah, besides that, it was a great night. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys tomorrow or whatever. 22 years on the floor, I'm out.